Welcome. For those of you who've been with me since day one, thank you. For my new people, hey. So for today's recipe, we are going to be making apple pie. So for those of you who are still apple picking, I think, or might have apples from apple picking, or just be like me and go to the supermarket and get some apples, this is a perfect recipe for you. Disclaimer, I absolutely hate apple pie, but I've been told I make a good apple pie. And obviously this is better homemade, so let's get to it. For this recipe, you will need 7 apples. I am using Granny Smith apples, half a cup of light brown sugar, half a cup of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 stick of unsalted butter, 1 egg, which I've beaten and added 2 tablespoons of water for my egg wash, 2 pie crust, aluminum foil. And make sure you preheat your oven to 400. First, we're going to start with peeling our apples. So I'm going to peel every single apple with my peeler. Then I'm going to cut out the core. And then we're going to thinly slice them with this mandolin. If you think you can do it with a knife, then knock yourself out. I like this peeler. So my peeler sucks, so I'm gonna take my skin off here with this knife. Now we're going to cut out our core. That was an adventure. If you have a core puller, core thingy, you know what I'm talking about, get one of those. Probably use a bigger knife. I had already started, so it's too late. But let's slice now. We did the hard part. That is all our apples. And now we get to the fun part. I like to caramelize my apples. Some people don't. So what I do is, now I add my butter. Some people do this process and don't add the apples. I do. So I'm gonna melt my 1 stick of butter. I do have my pan on medium high. Just gonna let this melt. I do also want to say that I am cheating and I am using store-bought pie crust. I know, I'm sorry. I have made my own crust, but today I decided to go with store-bought. So I'm not going to wait for it to melt all the way. I'm going to add my brown sugar and my regular sugar in here. I'm going to stir. I'm also going to add my cinnamon and my nutmeg. And it starts to make this syrup. It's thick, which is why it makes sense to put your apples in here now, as opposed to pouring this over your apples, because then all of them get coated with this goodness. So now I'm going to gradually add my apples. It does smell really good. I did slice these really thin, so maybe I'll taste it in the end. So I cooked my apples for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to set it off to the side. So if you are going to use store-bought pie crust or even your own crust, make sure that you take it out at least 5 to 10 minutes before you use it so that it's at room temperature. So this is already rolled out. I'm not going to roll it out to make it bigger. I don't think I need to. This is not bad. So, if you are super creative, this is your moment to make your edges look like pie crust. I am terrible at this, so I'm going to try and do my best. But if you are better at this than me, go ahead. I'll try my best. That looks kind of like a pie crust. Kind of. I think this isn't bad. Very proud of myself right now. Yeah, this is not good. Maybe lay it down some. Whatevs. I am gonna set this aside and try to get fancy with the one that goes on top. And get some flour for dusting. Just a little bit. Spread it around town. Okay. I'm not gonna bring out the rolling pin because I think we all right. Okay. I'm gonna cut this into strips because I'm gonna go for the traditional apple pie look. So let's see. Okay, now we got our special looking bottom back. I am going to start adding in my apples. Which, by the way, smell pretty good. Boom. Now, for the hard part. I'm gonna go across like this, right? Right. No, not that piece. I'm gonna do this part first. Then I'm gonna fold these back, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna, may not have enough. We're gonna go across like this. Bring these up, you know? And then fold it back this way. See? Oop. That last one didn't reach, but that's all right. And then bring it back. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the extra long pieces here. Not the prettiest looking pie, but who cares about pretty? I mean, I do, but in this moment, I'll live. Because if the flavor's right, all right. So now the idea is that you kind of put your bottom and your top together. Let's see if I can make it happen. I'm just pressing it together so that it holds. Still trying to keep that little cute pie shape, but I think it's over for me. This is not very pretty. I'm trying though. Now I'm gonna bring my egg wash over, my handy little brush here, and I'm just going to brush over the crust. I'm gonna bring my sugar over, sprinkle some sugar. Now this is key. Before you bake it, you need to cover your edges with foil because it will cook first, and then the edge of your crust will be burnt. I like to do this for the first 25 minutes that it baked, not the last 25 minutes. I think it's more effective the first 25 minutes. So your pie should look like this. So you are gonna bake your pie for the first 25 minutes at 400 degrees. And then after that, you're gonna lower your temperature to 375 and continue to bake for 35 minutes. Let's get to it. All right, so we took our pie out of the oven. Looks beautiful. You should absolutely wait 3 hours before cutting into this because it allows the sauce to kind of thicken. I'm not gonna cut into this pie, and we also know I don't like it. So all I'm gonna do is just dig my spoon in this little corner here so that I can taste, apple. Well, I did say I would taste it, all right? I am gonna peel a little piece of crust because that's what I really care about. So I have a very tiny piece of apple, some crust, and let's taste. So you know what? Cutting the apples that thin works for me. Like, because I don't like slimy fruit, but it's so thin that it almost dissolves. Gonna dig my spoon in here one more time. That was actually pretty tasty and not weird. Another apple, don't know if you can see that. I made myself a lover of apple pie. Look at that. Look at that. And if you know me, you know I'm not lying. I really hate hot fruit. That's lemon. All right. So if you want to take a chance on this recipe, please be sure to take a picture and tag my Instagram page at Culinary Adventures. And please, 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 please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, bye.